Now, South Carolina Senator Tim Scott is back with us. It's been a while, Senator. How are you? Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Sean. It's good to be back with you. I tell you what, you're talking about one of the worst things I've seen in a long time in government, the denying benefits to our folks who put their lives on the line, and to the families of those whose children, their brothers, their husbands, wives have lost their lives. And now to see, because of the Obama-Reed shutdown, there will not be funding available. That is an atrocity before the American people.
Jay Carney was asked repeatedly today, hey, when did the president know about this? Because it's only because of the Republicans in Congress that he agreed to sign off on this today. But notice how he wouldn't answer the question. What do you think? I mean, they do have the discretion. They do decide
Absolutely.
Who's essential. They do decide what areas of the government. This is only 17% of the government that's shut down anyway.
You got it right, John. Even President Clinton did a better job back during the 90s when the last time we had a shutdown of identifying essential employees, because he knew then what we know now, which is that our military be used as a tool, as a pawn in the process of establishing how do we fund a truly unsustainable path forward. And that is part of the problem. Our president simply refuses to lead. And he had the unilateral authority on essential employees. He had that before today. He could have made the same decisions yesterday that he's making today. He decided not to. This is on him, and that's something that he's uncomfortable with.
What I don't understand is all the bills that the House has passed. For example, they funded the national parks. They funded D.C., and they funded a promise, our VA, and the promise to our veterans and their families. They passed this last week, and the NIH, for example, and our Guard and a Reserve and National Guard and other they passed, 13 bills over there?
Yes.
Why won't the Senate, you're in the Senate, why won't you guys take it up?
We won't take it up because the President and Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid refuses to take up the House-passed bills to fund the essential services, the vital government services. They refuse to do so. And I tell you, when you look at the situation that we find ourselves in today, the Obama-Reed shutdown is absolutely an embarrassment. They refuse to take a look at the long-term liabilities that Obamacare places on the back of Americans, $6 trillion more in our debt. They refuse to take a look at the eroding of the best healthcare system in the world. They refuse to even have a conversation about the fact that short-term spending plans is in the long-term disinterest or worst interest of the American people. You simply cannot have a $4 trillion business called the federal government funded on short-term mechanisms. The continuing resolution as a principle should be gone. We should get back to regular order of passing appropriation bills or prove to the American people that we will do our jobs. But Senator Reid refuses to even negotiate with House Republicans that continue to send over to us the funding for vital government services.
Did you ever see anything like this? Now, you've been a House member for many years. You've been in and around this political game a while, and I know you got your big promotion there, and I have to call you Senator, and I'm teasing you because we're friends. But
absolutely,
have you ever seen anything like it?
Sean, I've never seen anything like this. I've been around politics for over 18 years now, and I've never seen a situation where the President of the United States refuses to negotiate with the majority that happens to be Republicans in the House. This could be solved easily if they would allow for some negotiation on things that matter for the American people. We're talking about creating a sustainable path forward. The President refuses to take into consideration math. If you don't have it, you shouldn't spend it. If you're spending $1.20 and you're bringing in $1, you're broke. That's something that is just common sense. And these are the things that we struggle to get the President and Harry Reid at the table to discuss before the American people with John Boehner.
Yeah, now Moodys came out today, and they have a very different view, for example, on the debt limit. And they're saying even if, quote, they don't raise the debt limit, the U.S. is going to pay off its debt and obligations, that they have the money.
We have over $30 billion in accounts. So the fact of the matter is making a debt service payment would be something that we could do very easily. I will tell you that if you take into consideration Senator Barack Obama and some of his quotes, they're quite interesting as it relates to the ability to raise the debt ceiling and the consequences or the failure of leadership for having to raise the debt ceiling. One of the quotes he said was, increasing America's debt weakens us domestically and internationally. Leadership means that the buck stops here. Senator Obama said, I therefore intend to oppose the effort to increase America's debt ceiling. This is from the President of the United States when he was a senator. He is echoing the same words because he believed then, what we believe now, that negotiating on the underlying challenge or problem, which is that we're spending more money than we're bringing in, is a necessity before you can have a conversation about going back to your bankers and asking for a higher credit limit.
Yeah.
I've voted very consistently, not for cloture. I voted against this notion of having a CR that funds Obamacare. But I take a very different position than most of the folks that I've talked to, which my position is that the continuing resolution as a funding vehicle in and of itself is bad for America. So I am absolutely, unequivocally opposed to funding Obamacare, period. In addition to that, there is a larger looming problem that faces America, and it's crisis-to-crisis budgeting. It's a Band-Aid budget that simply says, in temporary funding. I believe that temporary funding exasperates the crisis.
Yeah, they should do their budget. By law, they're supposed to have their budget done early. They haven't had it done, I think, one time since 1996. Listen, to Senator, I'm supporting your reelection. God bless you. And we appreciate your being a big supporter of the Tea Party for so long, and you're a good man. Thank you. All right, 800.